Hello, Corinne here from CRG Energy Fitness. Today's video is all around optimizing your training and nutrition and ultimately your life around your menstrual cycle. The aim of today's video is to educate you and therefore empower you to take advantage of your physiology, to feel your best and to perform to your fullest potential. Understanding your menstrual cycle can become one more tool in your toolbox for maximizing progress. Our hormones shift on a weekly basis, and when we take the time to understand those hormonal shifts that occur throughout our menstrual cycle, we can use them to our advantage. Our body moves through a couple of different phases during our menstrual cycle. So starting off from day one, we're in our follicular stage. And this phase leads right up until the main event. So the main purpose and the main focus of our whole menstrual cycle is ovulation. This happens usually around day 14, thereabouts, depending on your cycle length. Post ovulation, that from day 15 onwards, that's known as our luteal phase. Every month, an egg matures in an ovary, preparing to leave the follicle. Once the ovaries release the egg, this process is called ovulation. At the same time, body-wide hormonal changes are preparing the uterus for pregnancy. Our hormones are chemical messengers in our body. They are directing messages from our brain to our body and back again, continually. Our hypothalamus is the main control center. Think of him as a CEO of a company. He sends a message to the pituitary gland. The pituitary gland releases two other hormones, follicle stimulating hormone, FSH, and the luteinizing hormone, LH. These hormones then travel to the ovaries and tell them to make estrogen and progesterone. The amount produced depends on which phase of the menstrual cycle you are in, i.e. whether that be the follicular phase or the luteal phase. If ovulation takes place and the egg is not fertilized, the lining of the uterus is shed through our vagina. This is known as our period. Now, our menstrual cycle is one of the main pillars to determine our health, ladies. So that is why it is so important, and I can't say this enough, so important that you track your period or your menstrual cycle each and every month. So on average, around 28 days would be the average cycle length. However, each woman is individual. We are all individuals, so anywhere between 27 days, 29 days, you could be all the way out to 30 up to 35 days. Now, I would say if you are any longer than 35 days, then this is not quite normal, and it's best to go and seek some further advice and go and see a women's health professional. Alrighty, same with if you are 20 to 21 days, so your cycle is super short, only 20 to 21 days, I would be referring you out to actually go and seek further advice from a women's health professional. So if we think of our two phases just like the yin and yang symbol, our follicular stage is the doing phase, the yang side, where we're active, we're getting surges of energy, we're feeling strong. And then the luteal phase is more like our yin phase. So we're in the regenerative, restorative phase. We're nurturing. It's time to pay attention to how we feel and really honor how we feel, both strength as well as emotionally. Let's check out the slide on screen now of our menstrual cycle. And as you can see, that's been broken down into our different phases. So we've got pre-ovulation, our follicular phase, right up until point of ovulation, day 14 or thereabouts, and then post-ovulation, so our luteal phase. And also, as you can see at the bottom there is all the hormones. So the FSH is our follicle stimulating hormone, and the LH is our luteinizing hormone, as well as showing when we're spiking with estrogen and then progesterone towards the end of our luteal phase there. So let's delve into this just a little bit further. The follicular phase starts on the very first day of our period, and some will know this as our menstrual phase, so the actual days that we're bleeding. Now, during this follicular phase, our brain is sending signals and releasing hormones to stimulate the production of an egg in our ovary, at the same time signaling our estrogen levels to rise. Menstruation. So our bleed days are anywhere from 2 to 7 days. If you're experiencing longer than 7 days, it is an indication that something may be going on, so please look into this further. If your bleed is really heavy or really light, again, another indication something may be happening. Now, that's why tracking everything about your cycle is so vital. That way, you're able to determine if something is away from the norm for you. If you're not tracking, how do you know what is the norm and what is not? So the first couple of days of your bleed, you may very well feel a little bit blah. I know I certainly do at times. So go easy on yourself in these first couple of days if you're not feeling your best. Your uterus is almost doubling in size. It's filling up, it's becoming heavy. So it's actually creating an anterior pelvic tilt. Alrighty, so where your pelvis is tilting forward. So you can understand then why it can create lower back pain. Alrighty, so if you're feeling pretty blah within these first couple of days, just go for some easy restorative type of exercise, some low impact, some stretching, some mobility, Pilates, yoga, something that still keeps you moving but is not too high impact for you. Low levels of estrogen and progesterone, as well as extra inflammation around that hip and pelvis area, very well may leave you feeling quite unmotivated. So do whatever workouts feel good for you in this space. With our core body temperature, our resting metabolic rate, and insulin sensitivity all at a baseline normal rate during our menstruation phase, and with the rise of testosterone within our body, this is actually a prime time to build muscle. Alrighty, so that's why it's so important, ladies, to listen to your body. If you are feeling good, then honor that. Alrighty, that's why it's so important to actually get intimate with your body. Listen to what your body's telling you. If you're not feeling so great, then stick with the restorative exercise and the low impact. But if you're feeling good, this is prime time to be building muscle. This is our active phase, our yang phase. So get out there on the gym floor, grab some heavy weights, and let's go for it, because your body is okay at this stage. Now on to the nutrition side. So throughout your follicular stage, it's important to up your iron levels. Also your vitamin C, which allows for better iron absorption. So foods such as beef, chicken, turkey, you've got beans, leafy greens, and eggs. And on the vitamin C side, so your citrus fruit, your pineapple, kale, you've got capsicum and broccoli. And then into your B vitamins to help promote blood cell production and prevent anemia. So we're looking at shellfish, salmon, tuna, fortified cereals and plant milks, cheese, mushrooms, and your B6 foods, again, your meats, your turkey, your fish. We've got potatoes and starchy vegetables, as well as non-citrus fruits. So now we're looking at the second part of our follicular phase, day 7 through to day 14. This is between the end of your period and leading into ovulation. Estrogen levels are starting to rise and spike, and due to this, we're getting surges of energy, we're feeling stronger to work out, and we're recovering faster. So estrogen is associated with feeling happy, engaged, and strong. This is our active phase, and hello, increased libido. If you haven't already, now is the time to really increase that training volume and that training intensity. Right now, we're feeling unstoppable. We're at our strongest. So this is the time to really work towards those PBs. So high intensity training, if you're hitting the gym with weights, 1 rep max and 3 rep max type of training, so your absolute maximal strength type training. With our testosterone levels on that rise and at their highest point, we've got the biggest potential and opportunity for those muscle gains and that muscle strength right now. So make use of this if you can. And with those higher levels of estrogen, you will find you'll probably have an even higher tolerance for pain. So you're able to push that little bit further. Now, with this rising estrogen levels, just be really careful because this is also your highest chance of injury just due to the estrogen levels interfering with our neuromuscular control. So just be really careful when you're going for those PBs. Now, at this point in our cycle, our diet becomes ultra important. Between day 10 and 14, our estrogen levels are at their highest. We are at our most sensitive state. We're emotional and our cravings are at their highest. They're kicking in. Hello, chocolate. And pretty much anything and everything we can get our hands on. So as we move closer to ovulation, our body is burning more energy getting ready to ovulate, so more calories. And this is where healthy go-to snacks are imperative. Also, increase your fiber intake. Just helps to keep your bowels moving and your gut nice and healthy. Dark chocolate is a great, healthy, sweet fix. Just 1 small square will help to reduce and satisfy your cravings. Also opt for fresh in-season fruits, Greek yogurt, and dates. Fiber also helps to prevent bloating, so try whole grains, seeds, nuts, beans, and fresh fruit and veggies. Fermented foods can also help promote gut health, bowel regularity, and fluid balance. So consider incorporating kombucha, kefir, yogurt, or raw apple cider vinegar into your daily regimen. We've finished our follicular phase and we're now on to ovulation. So ovulation occurs around day 14 of our cycle and it occurs over a 12 to 24 hour period. Now, a lot of people focus on our bleed, whereas ovulation is the most important part of our cycle. If we're not ovulating, then we're not producing the hormone progesterone. And this progesterone is so important, super important for our mental health and for our mood. You may find that you suffer from anxiety or depression if you're not ovulating because you're not producing progesterone. As ovulation occurs, we release progesterone and our estrogen levels start to dip. Now our body is starting to change. We may feel bloated, we're starting to store more water, and we very well may see an increase on the number on the scales. So after ovulation and from day 15 onwards, we're now in our luteal phase. So estrogen has dropped, our progesterone has increased, and this higher level of progesterone can contribute to muscle breakdown, which makes proper recovery even more important than usual. Our basal body temperature peaks and stays increased through the luteal phase. We experience the physical changes in our body as well as emotionally. At this point in your cycle, you want to be starting to decrease the volume and the intensity of your weight resistance training. So switching from high intensity and maximal strength down to moderate intensity with your weights. Steady state cardio comes in highly beneficial at this point of your cycle. Now, this is all dependent on your actual gym experience. So whether you are a beginner, a novice, intermediate, or advanced. And this is all tailored specifically and individually for you based on what level you are in the gym. On the nutrition side, our metabolic rate is higher, so we're in a higher calorie burn at rest than in the follicular phase. Insulin sensitivity is lower with a higher utilization of fats. Our body metabolizes more fats. So now is the time to increase the healthy fats and reduce carbohydrates, especially the refined processed carbs. Our body is more likely to use fats as its primary fuel source due to increased progesterone and decreased estrogen. So eat more of your coconut oils, your olive oils, grass-fed butter and beef, salmon, leafy greens, avocados, nuts like walnuts. At this point, both of our hormones, our estrogen and our progesterone levels, are starting to fall again, getting ready for our new cycle. So those dreaded PMS symptoms are likely to start creeping in. Fluctuating blood sugar levels and extra inflammation really starts to sap all that extra energy and motivation. So now is the time to start winding down your fitness routines. So make sure you're getting adequate rest during your luteal phase, because your time to fatigue, now whether that be in between sets at the gym and outside of the gym, so in your recovery phases outside of the gym, those fatigue stages are going to become shorter and shorter. So make sure you're getting adequate rest. Since your body isn't in peak performance condition right now, using exercise to reduce stress will come in highly beneficial right now. So opt for Pilates, yoga, recovery style work, nurturing, grounding type experiences, breath work and meditation come in extremely beneficial. Feelings of burnout are common here if we're constantly on the go. Now, when strength training, focus on form. Nailing it now will prepare you to load more weight on your bar when a new cycle starts. Now, please remember that every woman is individual. So it's super important to get familiar with your body, get intimate with your body so that you know how your body feels at each point along your cycle so that you're able to train accordingly. Seek awareness around how you usually feel. And please, ladies, don't be too hard on yourself if your workouts aren't as good at certain times of the month as they are at others. It's normal. Some natural PMS relief symptoms for you. So avoid salty processed foods. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water to stay hydrated and to help combat the feelings of bloatedness. Avoid alcohol and reduce caffeine. Your menstrual cycle as a whole is an inflammatory process, and consuming these products will only make you feel worse. Our menstrual cycle is a natural occurring process that happens on a monthly basis. Now, it is important to note that if you are taking any type of contraceptive drug, that these normal patterns and changes will not happen within your body. So the contraceptive drug will suppress the actions of your hormones. Alrighty, and as I mentioned, it is a synthetic drug that you will be putting into your body if you're taking any contraceptive drugs. So just be aware of that and just consider for you all alternatives and you do you. Alrighty, so whatever works best for you is the best for you. Throughout the video, I have expressed the importance of tracking your menstrual cycle and also tracking how you feel throughout the month. So to be able to help you to do this, if you jump onto your app store or your Play Store on your phone or your device, you'll be able to download an app that can help you to do this, as well as educate you a little bit more around your menstrual cycle also, which is an added bonus. So the two apps that I have checked out myself and I have used is Flow, F-L-O, and the second one is Clue. Alrighty, so jump on, check those ones out. But even if you just type in period tracker or menstrual cycle tracker, there's a whole list of apps that come up. So you choose the one which you find the best for you. Alrighty, so thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope that you found it beneficial. If you have any more questions or queries, please don't hesitate to reach out and ask me, and I'll do my very best to help you in any way that I can. Alrighty, thank you.